In the strongest battlegrounds, there are a total of 11 characters that you can play as. And today I'm going to be comparing every character's abilities to the anime, as well as ranking each character on a tier list to see how accurate they are to One Punch Man. Starting with the sacred treasure, baby. Not Mahoraga, but the crab. Now, here's a few things, right? I know this crab was added just for, the summer update, but listen, have y'all watched One Punch Man? The crab is literally in the anime, so maybe he kind of matches him, Let's see. He does a giant leap, boom. He does acid spit, which, would seem like something in anime. Look at this. Yeah. What else we got? We got pure pincer barrage. Yeah, you let me know if that looks like it. No, it looks just like it. Now, let's go ahead and see if it matches the anime. Now listen, right? Look at this. This is the One Punch Man. This is probably the first episode. Crab is out here beating up Saitama before Saitama became Saitama. But this crab looks nothing like the crab that's in game. This looks nothing like that. But he does do this and then proceeds to get milliwatt by Saitama. But listen, I did not see anything accurate about that. Maybe, maybe they weren't trying to go for the anime. Maybe because it was just for the summer update. Who knows what? But it's pretty similar, like the moves. Look at this. That one move right there, you saw where he jabbed his claw into the ground? Kind of looks similar if you ask me. Come on, look at this. Look at this. Come on. That right there. Did you see that? Did you see that? That looked just like it. That looked just like it. All right, let's just move to the next one. Dead crab. No. But if I had to rank it, I gotta give it. Is this even real? Is it even in the anime? You let me know. Because it really doesn't, but it's fine. It's fine. Probably not supposed to be part of the anime. Moving on. Next up, we have Blade Master. All right, listen here. Atomic Samurai. I'm pretty sure that's his name in the anime. He's pretty sick, okay? But the first move that we have here is Quick Slice, which is, seems like we just take a step back and then we just cut the dude into a million pieces, which is pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Now, as for the anime, this might be a reach, but it kind of looks like it, right? Like, hear me out. Like, check this out, right? He goes in and all of a sudden we don't see him doing it, but there's a lot of slashing going on. That looks pretty accurate. Okay, I messed up on my end. Listen, all right? I'm in dress code now. I look sick. I look just like him. His next move that he has is Atmos Cleave, which he does a jump up in the air, slashes him like a slam down kind of move. Look, once again, boom, 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 boom. For the anime though, I'm not too sure where the inspiration comes from, but I'm gonna try to look for what may seem similar. You let me know if it looks similar or not. Okay, right here, that little slash when he cuts his head off, it's kind of similar. Then again, it's just a simple slash, so nothing crazy. Yeah, it doesn't really look like it, but kind of similar. Next move that we have is Pinpoint Cut, which basically does jump up in the air and I slice him from afar and my blade is now on fire. Okay, that's kind of sick. You let me know. Look at this. Boom. The closest thing that I got is this picture right here. It's like a PNG in a way, or a moving screen. That's the closest thing that I got to a pinpoint cut, where he goes up. His sword is going up. Did you see it? His sword is basically going up. It's kind of similar, you know what I mean? Now for his final normal move, he has something called the split second counter, which basically looks like this, and it's basically another parry move. I'm pretty sure it's only him and Garou who only have this move. So if we go up to the dummy, looks like this, and basically we cut them up into a million pieces. Now, the way how it looks in the anime, in my opinion, is pretty accurate, because with this move, look at this. We go up to the dummy, he hits us, we hit this move, we go behind him. Don't even need to turn around, but we hit him with the most diabolical cuts in the world. Now in the anime, the dude pops up behind him, cuts him up into a million pieces. I'm not gonna lie, Atomic Samurai, he's kind of clean with it. What we just saw in the anime, basically, if the dummy's weak, or if any player is weak, and we go up to the dummy, you hit this move, we simply go behind him, have this nice finisher move, and we cut him up to a million pieces and he dies. It's too clean. But now we're moving on to his ultimate moves, all right? Peep this ultimate move right here. You let me know if this is sick or not. So it seems like the first move that we have here is called Sunset, and basically this is what it looks like. It looks like I'm cutting this dude into a million pieces and then I pin him down and hit him with the most diabolical move in the world. I'm surprised he's still alive after that. Now, here's my issue, all right, with this move. This is why I made this, okay? A lot of people get the Sunset move wrong. People think that it's Ren Goku from Demon Slayer, but in actuality, it's actually part of a Dark Souls game. He does this and he goes for the Sunset move, boom, and pin him down and blah. So it is nice to see that, the developers don't always use anime reference, but they get their references from somewhere else. Now, in my opinion, I don't know anything about the Solar Cleave, but I personally think that the Solar Cleave, that's the one inspired by Ren Goku. Because basically, when I pop this, I do a little dash and I do a little slash, and if we check out the anime, I'm pretty sure it looks something similar like this. Because basically, Ren Goku pops his move and dashes towards him, and it kind of looks similar to Atomic Slash. No hate, if they got their inspiration from Ren Goku, I don't blame them. Saitama. And the next move that we have is called Sunrise. And basically, let me go ahead and show y'all what this move does, because I absolutely love this move. Basically, I go up to this, I get a nice little cutscene, and look at this. I cut this dude up into a million pieces. Don't even look at him get impact frames and burn him to a crisp. The only thing similar that I could find to this was basically Rengoku pulling up to Akaza really quickly and slashing him. If Rengoku didn't miss, it probably looked like this. And now finally for his last move, we have something called Atomic Slash. And basically, check this out everyone. Look at this. Boom. Ooh, I go into the dude's body, pause, and we slash his atoms, and it's a one shot, one kill. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have found nothing compared to that. Maybe it's in the manga. You let me know if it's in the manga or not, because I'm not too sure myself. But rating for the Atomic Samurai, I'm gonna say it's kind of a meh. Like, he does have some accurate here and there. Well, actually, I'll put it accurate. You know, there was very cool effects. It was kind of accurate to him. Not really. You know what? I take it back. We're moving it to meh, because a lot of it was inspired by different things. For example, there was Rengoku, Dark Souls, a lot of different things. You know, we could have done better. Now this next person, right? You may know him from already seeing him from behind. You may know him as Saitama's pupil, but we have Genos. Okay, listen, okay, I was a little down on Robux. I'm broke. I don't have enough to buy his face, but I had enough to buy the clothes, the hair, the face will do. But listen, the first move that he has is called Machine Gun Blows. Basically, kind of like Saitama. You know, he does throws like 1,000 punches at once and kicks the enemy. And basically, he does this in the anime too. And funny enough, in the anime, he actually says the move Machine Gun Blows, but that's what it looks like in the anime. The next move that Genos has is called Ignition Burst, and basically all you do is pretty much dash forward and blast him away like so, and bang. That's all it does. It's so simple, very simple move. Kind of like it though, but Genos does use this in the anime, and let me show you. Right here, this is where Genos uses this move and basically blows up what is called the House of Evolution if you guys ever watched the anime. The next move that we have here is called the Blitz Shot, and basically all we do is just shoot out a little fireball, a little fireball thing, you know, out of our hand. Does a pretty good amount of damage, and like I say, Genos does use this in the anime as well, which is pretty sick. Now, let me go ahead and show you guys. So as you can see here, Genos literally uses his palm to shoot at the mosquito baddie. Now I don't know about Genos, but I wouldn't kill that mosquito girl if I was him. That's just me though, personally. All right, look at that. Finally, our next move that we have is called Jet Dive, and basically we go up into the air and dive down on the enemy like so. Boom! But the best part about it is that when the enemy is weak and then we jet dive, do a little finisher move on them. Boom! As you can see right here, as Genos is fighting Saitama, he uses the jet dive on Saitama while they're trying to have a little battle. Yeah, no doubt in mind, that looks very accurate. But now we're gonna be moving on to his ultimate abilities. Basically, when I pop this thing, look how sick I look. Well, there could be a lot more things going on, but you know, it's fine. And that is why the first move that we have here is called the Thunder Kick. Basically, look at this. Boom! And right here, Genos does use the move right here. He goes ahead, turns around, does a little spin kick, and just like me, he missed his target. The next move that we have for him is called Split Blitz Drop Kick. Now, like you see right here, he drop kicks him, takes him up in the air, and literally just bros him to the ground. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime. Now surprisingly enough, Genos does it right here, but the problem is he missed. Okay, like that one frame that we saw right there is literally him doing that one move. Now if he didn't miss, I'm pretty sure that's how he would have done it. Like that. It would have looked like that, but you know, Saitama's him, so he dodged it. Now for the flame cannon, it's pretty much self-explanatory. He basically brings out a cannon and just blasts someone from across the map. Now I see this a lot in the regular games, and it kind of pisses me off, but this is what it looks like in the anime. So as we can see right here, Genos and Saitama are still fighting, but you can see right there, Genos used that same move on Saitama and pretty much created a big explosion. The next move that Genos has is called Incinerate, and basically, I'm not gonna lie to you, to keep it real simple, I hate this move, alright? I get hit with this move 24/7 every time I'm playing this game. Basically, this move, what it does is basically I take out everything from my inventory and I shoot this one dude, basically killing the whole server. But this is how it looks like in the anime. Look right here, it's so similar, very accurate. He even says Incinerate. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up Genos. The only honorable mention that I could give is basically when Genos gets knocked down, he gets up really quick. For example, here you go. Here's my ult account. Let me go ahead and knock myself down, and just like that, look how fast I got up. Did you see that? Did you see how fast I got up? Incinerate. But let's go ahead and rate it. As for Genos, we're gonna be rating Genos very accurate. Okay, I cannot emphasize it much. I cannot emphasize enough for how accurate every single thing was, especially him getting up. Like you don't see that. That was pretty sick. Next up, we got the GOAT himself. The GOAT himself, the brutal demon. Listen here, okay, listen. I got everything right. Once again, face is expensive. Don't get me wrong. I don't have Robux for this, but I can have Robux if you go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Then I can have some Robux. Thank you. But the first move that Metal Demon that Brute Demon has is the home run, and basically it's pretty much a home run. We take the enemy, we swing, and he's gone. Home run, baby. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime. But he goes ahead and pounds his head, and not only that, but gives him the home run. For the next move that Brutal Demon does, it's called Beat Down. Basically, pretty much we beat the enemy down, and then we hit with a nice little ground slam, BAM, like that. And let me go ahead and show you what it looks like in the anime. So it seems like Metal Bat's fighting Garou here, and he goes ahead and does the Beat Down move. The next move that we have for the Brute Demon, his call is called the Grand Slam. Like so, we go here, boom. Now, in the anime, it kind of looks like it, but you let me know. Does it look like the anime or does it not look like the anime? As we can see here, we see Metal Bat fighting this little demon, and he goes ahead and hits the Grand Slam on the dude. In my opinion, it's not that accurate, but there's something close to it, so we can't be too mad about it. The next move that we have for him is called Foul Ball, and basically I slam down on the dude and I throw him to the ground and throw him away into the trash can. But if you do miss with the foul ball, you get to just throw something at them, like so. Boom! And this is what it looks like in the anime. So we have here Garou fighting Metal Bat, and Garou literally throws this thing right at Metal Bat, and Metal Bat hits it right back. Now, if Garou got hit by that, I'm pretty sure he would have died, but it's not canon. Boom, 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 boom! But for that reason, I'm gonna go ahead and rate Metal Bat somewhat accurate. Okay, there was a lot of things that, you know, were kind of confusing. Most of it was accurate, but I'm just gonna say it was accurate. You let me know if I'm right or wrong, because for our next character we're gonna be using, we have the one and only martial artist. Okay, listen here. Okay, come on, I got the face this time. I got some Robux. Yeah, I got some Robux. Martial artist is pretty cool. He's still new to the game, so all of his moves aren't fully complete, but for what he has right now, we're gonna show it off. So the first move that he has is called Bullet Barrage, and basically I kick this dude a million times. We go into the air and I pound him to the ground, and they end up going flying, which is kind of weird, but you know, it makes sense. That's strong of a kick. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime. Here he goes ahead and fights Saitama, then goes ahead and hits the combo, kicks him up in the air, proceeds to slam him into the ground and break the stage. The next move that the martial artist has is called Vanishing Kick. We basically disappear and appear right in front of the enemy and proceed to kick them into the next dimension. But the best part is we can press 2 again and do another move. And funny enough, he does this in the anime too, but he doesn't fully complete it, but it looks kind of just like it. Let me go ahead and show you guys. So after Saitama has his like All Might fate, right here, the martial artist dude comes in and kicks him. Pretty much Vanishing Kick, because he appeared out of nowhere and proceeded to kick him in the face. We just didn't see him running in the anime. That's the best part. The next move that we have for the martial artist is called Whirlwind Drop. Basically, I go up in the air and I break the stage like so. Boom! Now that's what it looks like when you finish the enemy when they're low, but in the anime, he does something similar like so. So he's over here fighting Saitama and he drops down like the whirlwind drop, and as you can see, he breaks the stage. That's pretty similar if you ask me, because look at this. Let's do it again like this, and the stage kind of breaks, but I mean, you know, it's not the same as in game, otherwise that'd be broken. Imagine this whole thing breaking from one move. Gosh. And finally, for one of his last normal moves, it's called Head First, and personally one of my favorite moves, because in the anime he doesn't do this, but this is what it looks like. Boom! And he brings him down and slams him into the ground. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime and where it was inspired from. So that move is actually inspired by Naruto, and as you can see right here, he kicks him up in the air like we saw in game, proceeds to wrap him around with his bandages and does the same spin move. But in the anime of Naruto, it is called Primary Lotus. So now we have the martial artist ultimate. When you ult, it just turns to a big dragon. Kind of looks like from One Piece, but I'm not too sure. Since he is still in early development, we can see he only has 3 moves. The first move that he has is called Rising Fist. It looks like a drill almost. But let me show you what it looks like in the anime. So as we can see here, he's fighting a demon and he goes ahead and hits the Rising Fist. But for his next move, he uses this thing called Twin Fangs. Look at this. That looks so sick. Okay, but listen, I see a lot of people get this wrong. Okay, let me go ahead and clarify where this is from. If anyone here has watched Combat Gods, which you basically should, because it was made like 9 years ago, but it was amazing. It's literally from there. This move right here is from Combat Gods. But shout out to the person who made Combat Gods, but let me go ahead and show you what it looked like. Literally right here, this stickman is literally hitting the Twin Fangs and proceeds to body the yellow stickman. And honestly, I can't be mad. It looks exactly the same. The same moves that he did, except for the ending part. You know, the creators did their own thing, which I like. I like it a lot. And the final move that the martial artist dude has is called Earth Splitting Strike. And basically looks like this. We go in the air, we kick him him. We get a nice little cutscene of what's going on, and boom, just like that, we let the dragon eat him, and bam! All that impact frames. Gosh, this character's about to cook when he fully comes out. But once again, this was a reference from Combat Gods. Now, it's not exactly the same, but let me show you what it looks like. Right here, so they're fighting, and Red goes ahead and hits that move, but it's called the 1-inch killer punch, and proceeds to blast the dude, which is kind of similar to what we did here. We blasted the weakest dummy all the way over there. But that's pretty much all I got for the martial artist dude. That's all his moves. It's kind of accurate, but let's go ahead and rank it on our thing. So a lot of it was kind of accurate, some of it wasn't because it was inspired by from different things. I'm gonna say it's accurate. Okay, 3 of it was accurate. It was all right, not too bad. It has a plus for me because you put Rock Lee in there. All right, his Lotus Bomb, whatever it was called. Pretty sick. Now for the next character that we have Garou. Okay, listen, okay, I'm a little biased because this is who I main in the regular game, and he's pretty sick. Garou, also known as the Hero Hunter, pretty sick in the anime, the main antagonist for the anime One Punch Man. But for his first move, we have something called Flowing Water, and it looks sick. Even the finishing move looks sick. But I absolutely love this character because of the amount of combos and things you can do with him is just amazing. But let me go ahead and show you what Flowing Water looks like in the anime. As you can see in the anime, he literally hits that flowing water move right here and proceeds to beat up the muscle dude. So it is pretty similar if you ask me. Next up, we have Lethal Whirlwind Stream. Basically, we grab the dude, drag him across the ground, and pound him. Now, just like me and other creators who have tried this, we cannot find anything that, you know, kind of relates to this or anything in the anime similar to this or reference. But that's why we're moving on to the next move called Hunter's Grasp. Basically, he grabs him and throws him away. But the cool finisher part is each one has like a finishing move. So for the Hunter's Grasp, when I grab him, I pound him into the ground. But let me show you what it looks like in that anime. In the anime, we have my GOAT Moomin Rider coming in to kill Garou, and he ends up getting Hunter's Grasp. And next move that we have is Praise Pearl. Basically another, you know, counter move, which I love. So basically, if I go up to this dummy and I hit this move, I go like that and boom. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime. So here he is. Here's Garou fighting one of the A-class heroes in the anime, and he goes ahead and praise parry him. Now you might be wondering, it doesn't look that accurate. Well, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like when the enemy is low. Okay, so now that we have the weakest dummy weak, get it? Weakest dummy weak. Okay, sorry. But let me go ahead and walk up to him and parry, and just like that, look at that. Boom! Oh, behind. Bah, bah, bah. Now, I do like the devs. They added their own little twist to it, which, you know, makes it way more clean and a lot more satisfying to see. Now, moving on to Garou's ultimate move. Check this out. Basically, I'm bleeding from my mouth, and I go ahead, wipe it off, slam the ground. And luckily, this is in the anime, but let me show you what it looks like, and you let me know how accurate it is. So as we see here, Garou's fighting these 2 old heads, but Garou goes ahead and slams the ground, just like his ultimate. Pretty similar if you ask me. But looking at Garou's moveset, you know, we have 4 movesets here. We have this thing called Water Stream Rock Smashing. Basically, when you go up to the dummy, he throws like a barrage of things. He throws a barrage of fists at the enemy. Boom! And proceeds to down slam him. Now, in the anime, we see Garou here fighting what looks like kind of like Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, but not really. Looks kind of accurate of him throwing a barrage at him. For the next move that Garou has, it is called the Final Hunt. And basically, let me show you what it does. I literally kick this dude in the air and down slam him into the ground. Now, this is very lethal if you use Garou, you know, in the strongest Battlegrounds, because the amount of combos that you can do. This is pretty much a one-shot move. When I take them up in the air like that, they're pretty much dead after I'm hitting a certain combo. However, in the anime, this is how he does it. So as you can see here, Garou is fighting Genos and proceeds to hit the Final Hunt on Genos. Pounds him to the ground, jumps up in the air, pretty similar. For the next move that we have for Garou, it's called Rock Splitting Fist. Let me show you what it does. Boom! Bam! Now luckily this move was not from Garou. Let me show you who it's from. It's actually from Garou's grandpa. I'm just joking. It's from his master. His master hit this move on him, and they decided to put it for Garou in the anime. I mean, in the game, which is, in my opinion, pretty hilarious because Garou got bodied with that move. And finally, we have something called Crushed Rock, which basically I go up to the enemy, I go behind him and pound him into the ground. Now, I would love to see this in the anime. I don't know if it's in the manga or not. Hopefully it is, because it is not anywhere. We cannot find this or reference this anywhere. But hey, in game, check this out. You literally hit this move on someone, boom, and then I hit him with the Final Hunt, and they're pretty much dead. With that being said though, I'm gonna say Garou's moveset was very accurate, okay? Most of his moves were pretty accurate. Of course, there were some moves that, you know, weren't there, but majority of it is there. Next up, we got the baddie, the one that everyone knows and probably sims for. I think her name is Wild Psychic in game, but Tatsumaki. I promise I didn't mess it up. I promise I didn't mess it up. Come on, tell me it's fire. Tell me it's fire. She looks sick. I love her moveset in this game. But let me go ahead and show you some of her moves and compare it to the anime. So for the first move that we have is called Crushing Pull. Pretty much I will grab this enemy and I will ground slam him. Bam! Like so. Like, don't touch me, you filthy animal. Bam! But let me show you what it looks like in the anime. As you can see in this fan animation, we see that the Wild Psychic or Tatsumaki uses Crushing Pull. The next move that we have for Tatsumaki is the Windstorm Fury. Literally throw a tornado at someone and they just go flying right after. Honestly, pretty sick. It looks so goofy, but I love it so much. But let me show you what it looks like. Once again, here she is grabbing rocks from the Earth's core and spinning it around her so fast that it creates a tornado. But for the next move, for the baddie, I mean Tatsumaki, she uses this thing called Stone Coffin. Honestly, pretty sick move from the developers. However, what if I told you that it wasn't her move? Because it's actually her sister Blizzard the baddie. But yeah, that's where it's from. It looks absolutely sick though, don't get me wrong. But the finishing move looks even cooler because you bring them up in the air and crush them to death. And finally, for her final move, Explosive Push, we go up to the enemy and we can just blast them away. Now, I honestly don't know where it's from. Maybe it's in the manga like I say, but other than that, I have no clue. But what I can show you guys is the finishing move. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Boom! Bam! God. Made a whole little hole in the wall over there. But yeah, now let me show you what it looks like when she awakens. I think this awakening move looks absolutely sick because when you awaken, anyone within the range gets caught in the tornado. And we blast them away, doing quite a bit of damage, I'm not gonna lie. The first move that we have for her is called Cosmic Strike. And since that dummy's beating up the other dummy, we're gonna help them out. And go ahead and call an Astro. Oh my goodness, that thing looks so cool. It just comes out of the sky and blasts them. Look at that, it did half the damage. Now let me show you what it looks like in the anime. So we can see here she is fighting a dinosaur. How did dinosaurs die back in the day? They died from an asteroid, and well, that's how he died. Pretty accurate. Now her next move is called Psychic Ricochet, and let me show you what it does, because I honestly, you know, I like this one. This is pretty cool. Basically, I grab them, throw them up in the air, and they ricochet off of these rocks and come back down with a hard slam. Ba, 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 ba. Now, if I told you that's not actually in One Punch Man, would you believe me? Now, if you didn't believe me, you are correct, because that move is actually from Mob Psycho 100. But he absolutely bodied him because now Mob became him. Now, for the next move for the baddie, I mean Tatsumaki, it is called Terrible Tornado, which isn't that her hero name? Correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, we go ahead and bring them in, drag them across the world, throw them on the ground and hit the One for All United States Smash. If you get hit by that, you're dead. From the words that I had just spoken, you probably know where it's from. If you don't, let me go ahead and show you. That's right, it is from My Hero Academia, One for All versus All for One. And look, it has the same move. Honestly, love the reference a lot. Can't be mad at all. Can't be mad. It looks sick in game, and they absolutely cooked with that move. And for her final move called Sky Snatcher, let me go ahead and show you what it does. Literally, we snatch someone and just boom, decide to throw them. Now, I'm pretty sure it's in the manga. However, shout out to the guy, Animat, who made that fan animation, because I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here it is right here. This is the Sky Snatcher. This is pretty much what it looks like. It's kind of the same in a way, but not really. But as we can see, she is dragging him on the ground. And Saitama being Saitama, he does not care. But that is all the moves for the Tatsumaki herself. And now, rating from very accurate to meh to is this even real? You know, I gotta say, it's very accurate. Okay, hear me out. Of course, some moves weren't hers, but it is pretty accurate, okay? Like, it is canon. And we haven't seen it animated yet because, you know, season 3 is on its way. But I gotta say, it's very accurate. You hate me if you want, maybe because she's a baddie, but it's very accurate. With that being said, we're moving on to the next character, which is the one and only Sasuke Uchiha. I mean, Speedo Sonic, that's his name. But yeah, anyway, so the first move that we have for him is called Flash Strike. And let's see what it looks like. Yeah, basically just a quick little strike on the enemy. Nothing too crazy. Let me show you what it looks like in the anime. So here he is right here. He's fighting a giant snake and proceeds to perform the move Flash Strike. The next famous move that we all know is called Whirlwind Kick. And basically all I do is I teleport in front of the enemy and I proceed to boom. However, in the anime, it didn't go well for Speedo Sonic. Let me show you why. Because in the anime, he is fighting Saitama and proceeds to Whirlwind Kick, and he is no longer gonna have kids. But yeah, the next move that we have for Sonic is called Scatter. Pretty simple move, you know, just like the Flash Strike, but it lasts a lot longer and possibly to be one of the annoyingest, I don't think that's a word, moves in the strongest Battlegrounds. Let me show you how he used it in the anime. So it seems like he was fighting a group of people and proceeded to use the Scatter right here. You can see all their heads gone. And the next annoying move, the next move set that he has that I personally dislike, is the explosive shuriken. All you do is you go up to your enemy. You could be so far away and just throw this shuriken like so. And just like that, see how fast the enemy went? Let me do it again, right here. Yep, and just like that, he is burnt to a crisp. I hate that move. At least I hate getting hit by it. But let me show you how he did it in the anime. So we got this big brute tank top dude, and he goes ahead and throws his exploding shuriken, and it's safe to say he passed out from that. That is how I feel every time I get hit by that in game when I'm hitting a nasty combo and someone decides to hit me with the explosive shuriken. But now for Deadly Ninja, also known as Sonic's ultimate move, it looks sick, I'm not gonna lie. Ooh, that looks so clean. Now let me show you how it looks like in the anime and tell me, let me know which one you think is better. Here he is right here fighting Saitama, and he goes ahead and pops his ultimate move. But going back to his moveset, the first move that we have is Twin Blade Rush. Honestly looks amazing. This looks so sick. Now, I would like to see him hit this move in the anime because I cannot find any references or anything to do with that move specifically. But if anyone knows, please let me know. With that being said, we're moving on to the second move, what is called Straight On. Basically, it seems like I'm just running for my life and then I proceed to press it again and bam. Now, I don't know if it has a finishing move. I would like to see it. All right, let's go ahead and hit it again. We're running at the speed of sound and bam. So it doesn't. He just died. Okay. Well, anyway, let me show you what it looks like in the anime. As we can see right here, he hits that same move straight on, running straight towards the enemy at the speed of sound. The next move that we have for Speedo Sonic is called Carnage. And basically all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up in the air and just blow up this whole world. Die, die, die! But yeah, that's pretty much all it does. Usually you only can do it once. And let me show you what it looks like in the anime. So as we can see here, he is tweaking out crazy. And as you can see, he is spamming the same move, which is not possible unless you're in private servers, like how I am. Boom! Boom! And finally, for his final move, it is called a fourfold Flash Strike. And basically all we do is we body the dude. Simply died, could not do anything. Very simple, very clean. And let me show you what it looks like in the anime. As you can see, he's about to get hit and then he decides to pop his ultimate, use fourfold Flash Strike on Genos. All right, as for accurate wise, I gotta say it's pretty similar. I gotta give it, I'm just gonna say, let's think. Everything was pretty accurate, okay? His was very accurate, even though I hate him in game and hate people who use him, I gotta give it to him. Very accurate, okay? And one of the last ones that we have is Saitama. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten ears for him. I kind of regret looking at it because now he looked kind of weird, but we're gonna roll with it. Anyway, the first move that we have for him is Normal Punch. Boom! Basically, this dude is fighting, Attack on Titan looking thing and simply hit him with a normal punch. Now, for the next move that Saitama has is Consecutive Punches, which looks like, boom, consecutive punches. Now, let's see what it looks like in the anime. In the anime, it looks pretty simple. This is his normal consecutive punches. The next move that we have for him is called Shove, and all basically self-explanatory. He just goes up to them, boom. Now in the anime, it seems like he was holding back a little, okay? Because look at this, he shoved him and only broke his armor and ended up naked. And for the last normal move that he has, it is called Uppercut. And basically when the enemy is low, if I uppercut them, I send them to the moon. So in the anime, he's having a midlife crisis and he goes ahead and uppercuts the monster that he was fighting. Moving on to Saitama's ultimates, he has this thing called Death Counter. That is his first one, the one that I hate because I cannot tell when people pop this. Sometimes they'll just run up to me and be like, hey, how's it going? Pretty good. Just joking. Your day gone. And boom. Just like that, a one-punch death. Now let me show you how it looked like in the anime. He baits Genos and has the most menacing eyes that I've ever seen. Like, just how is that fair? Huh? How is that fair? That's not fair at all. For the next move, that is called table flip. Now I can't find any references for this, but I did see it in the manga. Basically all he does is grabs the ground and flips the whole ground. The next move that Saitama has is called Serious Punch. Now let me tell you, this is what it looks like. Look at this cutscene. We got a nice little cutscene of him. He winds up that punch and full throttle. Did you just see what happened to that guy? He got blasted and made a hole in the wall. Let me show you how it looked like in the anime. Right here, he's about to get blasted, but proceeds to quote unquote serious punch this. And finally, for Saitama's last move, omnidirectional punch. It is not yet animated. However, like I said, season 3 is on its way. So when that thing gets animated, oh my goodness, I hope they do it justice. But this is what it looks like in game. Kick him up in the air. We jump. Proceed to jump everywhere, and we're about to bully this dummy. Well, yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm not gonna lie, maybe I'll do one reference that it could look like from. Now, it's not exactly the same, but it is from My Hero Academia when Midoriya fights Overhaul and proceeds to body him like so. Now, maybe it's a reach, but it does look similar in a way with all the fists coming down from the sky. And of course, you know, we do have Sorcerer, don't get me wrong. We have Gojo himself. I'm gonna use it as Saitama real quick, but I don't really want to compare him. I mean, we only see him in the private servers, which is, thank goodness we do. But yeah, he's a little too overpowered. Look at this. He kills them. I do a little hollow purple with Saitama. Yep, this is a crossover you never seen before. Oh, got bodied. He's still standing though. And then we have a track. And they die. However, for the rating for Saitama, listen, everything was accurate. I can't be mad. That's just how it is. I can't argue. I mean, he is the main character, so most of it should be accurate. Now for Gojo, is this even real? Oh, for KJ. Now for KJ, I don't really know because it is not in game yet. However, I'm not sure if the other games that have KJ is absolutely like if it relates to it at all, or if it's the same thing as, I'm pretty sure it's from Combat Gods. I could be wrong, but the only person who would have KJ are these people right here. 53_Axis, who donated 6 million Ropa, and Gabby, who donated 1 million. Listen here, you know, here, this is my Cash App. Please send me money. I'll give you my Venmo, my PayPal. I need some Robux. Did you see how my characters look like? Please. But that wraps up this video. Let me know how I did. Let me know if you guys think it was pretty accurate or if I messed up on the list. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.